Okay, so for recording purposes, my name is Graham, and I'm here with Gary. And would you mind just verifying your name?
Yeah, I'm Gary Cleveland, and I live in Portland, Maine.
Okay, wonderful. So you said you live in Portland. Are you originally from Portland?
I'm not. I actually I grew up in the suburbs of Boston and went to a little art school in Boston called the New England Institute of Art.
Okay.
It actually went under. It's not a school anymore a little while ago. And then, so I grew up in Mass, went to school in Boston,
Okay.
and I've lived all over since, and now trickled back northeast.
Portland. Wonderful. So, what exactly is it that you do for work? What's your official title?
So I am the production assistant and hospitality manager of Aura, which is a 1,000-person capacity venue in Portland.
Okay, wonderful. So, did you work your way up to this position, or were you hired directly into this position?
Well, it's been interesting being in the audio field. And I originally graduated with a degree in audio technology. So starting off as a sound guy and that sort of thing. What happened, like a lot of things happen, I was in the middle of relocating from Denver 2 years ago, and my friend called me, who I used to be in a band with in college.
Yep.
And he just got a job at that venue, and he knew I was looking for a place to work and live.
Nice.
And he threw it out there, and I came. So when I originally started at Aura, I was a stagehand, and I filled in as a monitor engineer for several shows
Yep.
in a row, and they all went well.
Nice.
And then they fired their hospitality manager. So I also had a previous background in a lot of audio-visual for hotels, so it's good on the client side.
Okay.
So kind of when that guy quit, like a lot of gigs in audio, you're either there when someone gets fired or quits, and they just, hey man,
Sure.
jump on up,
Sure.
or someone recommends you, like a friend. So it just so happened that I just got there, and I was really good. They liked me. The guy quit or got fired.
Yep.
So they kind of fused my role as a hospitality manager, also someone who was a backup audio engineer, as well as whatever they need to do.
Cool.
As the production assistant.
Yep. Yep.
So
Good deal. So you had mentioned you went to school. Did any of the schooling so you had went to school for something different? Did you have to have any specific schooling or training for this position, or did it kind of
you definitely had to know your shit audio-wise.
Yep.
But as a stagehand, sorry, what's the
So
question?
did you have to have any specific schooling for this position, or was it kind of
This business, schooling does help, and there's tons of schools now that do concentrate on audio, but it's changed. So that's very different from how it used to be.
Yep.
Right. So, and you still see it to this day. Old school guys, a lot of rap. They promote their family members and people that are very close to them, especially back in the day when it wasn't seen as such an art. I mean, somebody's cousin will probably be their front of house guy.
interesting?
He gets okay on an analog board back
Yep.
in the 80s, and they just do that one band, you know what I mean? I think I had an already very extensive audio resume, right? To just get in the door with as a stagehand. At the same time, I have personally recommended a lot of young, up-and-coming kids out of school to our stage manager. We like to use a lot of kids like that who are bright,
Sure.
don't mind grunt work, because stagehand work is very not glorious. So it's a very humbling industry, but I think the schooling and my knowledge just helped. So I did have it, but I think my friend Lee being like, I have a good guy who's coming here, we're going to hire him. And that's kind of how it happened.
Gotcha. Do you have like a bachelor's or is it?
So actually, I didn't actually end up finishing school all the way.
Okay.
I was going for a bachelor's.
Yep.
And something happened. I was on a special loan for people who don't have cosigners. The loan stopped existing my
Yeah.
senior year.
Yep.
I could have finished. I ended up just right out of school. I got a job as a stagehand for the city of Boston for their outdoor free shows at like Government Center.
Yep. Yep.
I got hooked up with the manager over there and just hit the ground running out of school. So didn't finish and just started grinding from there.
Gotcha. Cool. So, were there any like specific failures or successes like early on that kind of were important in like shaping this path?
Yeah, I think a lot of different little gigs over the years kind of makes you the more into it you are, I think you have a better understanding, you know. Some
Yeah.
people get lucky. Some guys and girls are just fucking animals. They're really good. You know what I mean? And they'll be all right. It's a type of industry where you gotta stick with it.
Yep.
And the pay isn't great, and you know what I mean. It's a job where you like, especially the audio side, you get good by eating shit in front of a bunch of people and trying to vouch to yourself that it'll never happen again.
Sure.
And that
Sure.
anxiety and that, you know, and then you learn how to handle that really well. Kind of skills that led up to this and jobs. So, like I said, I started off at stagehand for the city of Boston. You know, and then sometimes I think about the past of that. I could have learned just as much as just freelancing at a recording studio
Yeah.
for free for years, and would have had a foot in the door. Well, my college was great, and I spent a lot of money, but I met great kids, started
Sure.
a few cool bands,
Yep.
and had a blast and established connections that I am actually still using
Awesome.
to this day. But then there was a shift several years in, and a lot of people in the audio world and visual world will feel this pressure, is that you can make next to no money, you know, and as a stagehand, but then there's audio visual for corporate events.
Mm.
So eventually in Seattle, I got offered the audio visual manager job at a hotel, like a nice hotel.
Yep.
And it's a completely different world. You're dealing with
Okay.
hotel people.
Yeah.
I was budgeting Microsoft meetings, GoDaddy meetings, like
Yep.
all Amazon, all the companies based
Yeah.
in Seattle. And what these huge companies do is they throw business meetings for a week long where they need 10 microphones and 3 projectors. And
Okay.
it's just a whole week straight of like Microsoft talking about like a new department or some bullshit.
Sure. Sure.
Weddings,
Yep,
whatever.
yep.
Then you need techs for that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It pays better. It can. But I felt like a douchebag wearing a tie and like I
Yeah.
had a lot of tattoos, and it's just not my scene. So I faked it for a few years. I just got sick of that bullshit.
Yeah. Sure.
Now, being on the hospitality side of a venue, that it's just, yeah, you got to make sure they're all happy.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
So, you know, it's been good to think about all these different audio type jobs. Like, what exactly are we selling here? Who exactly is the client? You know what I mean? It's the band performing, it's the people coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of people in the audio world will get lured by AV. But
Yeah.
it's not exactly what you wanted. But it could be a very good, could be a really good gig if, if you're happy with that.
Interesting.
But it was just very opposite. Of what
Yeah.
I was trying to get into. But it paid well, made me really good with clients and like big business people and
Yeah.
talking about big budgets and all that. So it's good to just talk to people, you know what I mean, and clients. And it's always a mess, and you just have to try to figure out what they need and you deliver that. You know what I mean?
Very cool. Very cool. So, take me through a typical work day.
All right.
Like,
So for my position, I luckily get there before the band gets there. So, I mean, I guess my day would really start the night before if I have time, before a band arrives, right? So you have to set up parking and all the permits you got through the city for their tour buses, or I would do that.
Yeah.
And then you have to do all this shit so they approve them. And then I would reset the green rooms.
Okay.
This is the hospitality side of it.
Yeah.
Reset the green rooms, and then, you know, I do little things like there's a little sign, "Welcome to Aura." I put the band's name there.
Yeah.
Cups, coffee, shower towels, whatever. And then we'll get there a couple hours before the band, so we're talking anywhere from 8 a.m. to noon, and go through their rider, and then I would kind of go through stuff we can do in-house. I go through their hospitality budget. If there's a problem, like if I see like, dude, you got like 3 pages on your rider, your budget's $500, like
Yeah.
there's a $200 bottle of whiskey on there, like what do you want me to do? So yeah, I kind of would figure out that shit. I'd go
Yep.
shopping
Yep.
and then set up the green rooms. My position's also interesting too because our tour manager, our production manager goes on tour with dispatch.
Oh.
So when he's gone, I'm the production manager as
Interesting.
well.
Very
cool. Lucky me, I like to do 3 jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm the day of show contact production manager as well.
Yep.
So it's kind of, it's just because I was good with hospitality, I can do audio and I'm good with bands. So
Yeah.
I kind of got bumped into this weird role. So that would, I'd go shopping for the band, then I'd go through all their paperwork of anything else they needed, right? If they needed backline for the day, I'd call the company, make sure the backline delivery will be there on time.
Yeah.
If we need dry ice or a bunch of haze, gotta do this thing with the security of the building and to make the building ready to receive haze so the fire alarms don't trigger.
Okay.
It's literally going through, right, their rider, and logistic stuff like all audio I can hand off to the front of house.
Sure.
All monitor stuff, the monitor engineer will
Yep.
get. But everything from the entire agreement, I have to just make sure is happening
Yeah.
in that building. So then load-in will start. I would meet up with the tour manager and production managers of the tour. Gotta make sure they're all set, right?
Yep.
If they have video content for a video wall, everything from like, please don't smoke in our green rooms. I don't care what you smoke, please go in the gated alley.
Yeah.
Because it has happened, and it probably will again. A lot of rappers like to smoke weed in there. When the fire alarm goes off, we lose building power, and everyone has to evacuate.
Wow.
So it's a new building, so
Yeah.
it's all a nightmare. So yeah, load in, sound check, and then make sure all their hospitality needs, lunch, all that's figured out. And then start prepping the room for doors once the openers are sound checked. Showtime, settle with all the money shit, and then load out. And then once loadout's complete, once they leave the green rooms, I get to leave the building.
Cool. Cool.
So get there before, and everyone leave after everyone.
Awesome.
Probably ranging from 12 hours for a short shift, long can be 16, 17.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. So, like during showtime, like what exactly do you kind of get to sit back and kind of watch it, or are you like running around? Or
So also, yeah, I'm kind of running around. So I have my office, but I am running around, making sure, like, you know, so you have an hour of house music, right, and the first band plays.
Yeah.
So while that's all going down, you know what I mean, you make sure the first band's ready.
Yeah.
Right, and you go over like, hey, I'm gonna come down to the green room, I'm gonna grab you at this time, we're gonna walk up the stairwell, they'll radio just me, they're ready,
Yep.
and then we'll send you out, right? So you gotta make sure everybody's where they need to be. It's also my one chance to, if nothing's happening,
Yeah.
take a breather and start doing some paperwork in my office.
Sure.
When they're on stage, right?
Yep.
So, but it also depends. Like if they have fancy dinner they want delivered. When the second they get off stage, like I'm kind of working to make sure that it's happening. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm talking to the owners about settlement. So it can be kind of my break time.
Yeah.
At the same time, I have to make sure security is doing okay. Any questions, they have to go through me about ejections and all that.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lot of like sit down for 15 minutes and the radio starts going.
Yeah.
On,
Gotcha.
and you're out running again.
Cool. Are there any like major obstacles that like what would be like a major obstacle that would go through the course of your evening that, and like how would you overcome that?
So biggest obstacles are, with this attitude of, I mean, with this business, you need a certain attitude, right? It's like, you do whatever you have to do to get that show going.
Yeah.
It's like, so there is mishaps. Like, oh, we said we needed 10 stagehands for loaded, and there's 5. And it's like, okay, well, your budget didn't account for it. There was a loss in the communication. Shit, we got 5 guys here. I'm gonna jump down there with you guys. You got 6. We'll have the front of house guy jump in, and like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
just kinda-
yeah.
Also, it's a small enough venue where 10 guys, there's not everyone will be working. It's not a huge stage.
Sure.
So that can be problems. So logistic errors, right? People
Yep.
not showing up.
Yep.
Something not getting delivered, right?
Okay.
So then that needs to get fixed.
Yeah.
It's just do whatever the fuck you need to do to make the show go
Yeah,
on, and
sure.
make sure that they're pleased.
Yep.
Also, another huge obstacle is the tour or people themselves. They can just be nasty.
Interesting.
Which is yeah, a lot of old school audio guys, man. They're old dogs, man, and they don't want to hear anything new.
Yeah.
So it's tons of obstacles every day, right? But you just make sure that nothing's blowing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one's seriously hurt.
Yep.
And no one's seriously pissed off. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, the way I look at it is like we're selling a concert, or you're selling a night where people can forget about their shit for 2
Yeah,
hours. And
definitely.
that's it. Like, you know what I mean? If
Yep.
they go to a show and have no idea I'm even there, they don't even know there's like all these stagehands and audio guys, like that's a good show.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
just in it, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
definitely.
There's obstacles every day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
That could be, like I said, logistic, or even the people themselves. But so my job entitles making sure the band's happy, but
Yep.
also the venue. Like, you're in our house, you
Yeah.
have to follow our rules.
Yep.
Right.
Sure.
And it's kind of hard at times to look at like the perspective of the band's a client, the people in the audience a client, but this is also our building, and you have to respect that.
Yeah,
These
definitely.
are our rules. So many obstacles every show, but it's finding a happy medium between keeping those 3 perspectives happy.
Yep. Cool.
And you know what I mean. And hopefully, production team doesn't want to rip their hair out.
Very cool. What would you say would be your favorite thing about an evening or your job in general?
My favorite thing, it doesn't matter if I like the music or not, it's when there's 1,000 people going nuts, having a great time. That's the shit I love.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just-
definitely.
And just, it's kind of weird, the lackluster of seeing really big professional musicians, I never been really impacted or freaked out or cared if someone was famous.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gone to school and grew up with a lot of talented people. So one of the best parts is you see some of the best people at perform. Once in a while they might be a complete fucking asshole and you're like, I don't even like that person. It's humbling in that way. But I think the best part of my job is when it's a great show, the band has a great time, the crowd is going fucking nuts, and everyone leaves happy.
Nice.
That is my favorite part.
Awesome.
Because that's deep down what we're really selling. Right?
Sure.
Experience for people.
Yeah. Very cool. So I see you have a guitar over there. Like you play? Do you play in any bands or anything?
Not right now. Kind of kind of a bedroom warrior as far as recording
Yeah.
music. I have a little setup and stuff.
Sure.
Always dabbled. We'll play with people here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just love music. I love playing music.
Nice.
Never really banked on going anywhere with it.
Yeah.
And you know, over the years, I'll go through I'll go through months not playing. Also, when you're in the industry, it's like, dude, when you just worked at a venue
Yeah.
5 days that week,
Sure.
and you were there for 80 hours.
Wow.
The last fucking thing you want to do is play or even listen to music.
Right.
I rate, like, when I get home from work, it's usually just podcasts, people talking.
Interesting. Yeah.
Just to kind of numb it down, like not sensory overload.
Yeah. Sure.
Plus, your ears are probably a little blown. I do have like professional grade.
Oh yes,
Which is
earbuds.
yeah, like they mold your ear,
Oh wow.
which is pretty cool. But will help with your ear.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, I do play, and I do love it, and I am finding people to play with again. But I've just over the years could record music in my bedroom. And
Yeah.
I don't do anything with it, but I like to do it.
Very cool. What are your favorite kind of music to listen to?
A little bit of everything. Being from Boston, you know, so I grew up playing in hardcore bands.
Oh, okay.
So hardcore was just, and heavy music was just so big in New England for so long, especially that scene I grew up near Worcester.
Yep.
Big hardcore bands out of there. So I did like heavy music growing up, and then I do like kind of the 90s emo that came out of the Midwest.
Yep.
So like a lot of old school bands. There's also a lot of new cats now, good instrumental bands. I did everything from I love Modest Mouse and Built to Spill and American football and just like a lot of weird kind of older emo, where I grew up with like a lot of friends listening to that weird
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
But anything really.
Yeah.
I like funk. Like Otis Redding's one of my
Yeah.
favorite singers as far as an R&B singer. Love Morrissey and the Smiths. You know, classic rock. My mom grew up playing everything, man. As I don't like modern country that much, and certain pop, but you can find a good genre in anything. You know?
Sure.
I'm sure there's people good at some. For every genre, there's probably someone really fucking good at it.
Yeah. Sure.
But for the most part, I like technical melodic guitar.
Okay.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah. Definitely.
So if that's in it, I'm in it. So.
Cool. So, do you have any like particular creative habits or specific routines that you follow like on a daily basis, or?
Specific routines, not so much. I think I try to find routines that work for myself, but I write a little bit, I paint a little bit,
Sure.
play music.
Yep.
Also, just writing kind of came from writing lyrics and then just enjoying the art of writing over time. But one thing I have noticed when I'm really grinding, especially in this work, for whatever reason, my creative side has seemed to suffer.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know where, maybe I'm getting fulfilled or I'm too busy to have the time. But I try to do something creative at least every day.
Yeah.
Whether it's play a little bit, write a little bit. I get really nervous of like, you know, your technical side of your brain and your creative side of your brain. You gotta exercise both. Of them,
Yeah.
and one can kind of get stronger than the other. So no matter what, I try to do something kind of creative, whether I know it or not. It's just out of habit and boredom. Like whatever, I'll write down lyrics when I'm bored.
Yep.
So
Cool.
yeah, I do a little bit of something every day.
Yeah.
And when you hang out with a lot of people that just play and
Sure.
you find yourself just like, you know, fucking jamming for a sec, or
Yeah.
it's good to be around creative people.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Get that. So you talked about you worked with the bands and stuff. Like, how closely do you work with the bands that come in? So you're like
Um,
dealing with them every night kind of deal?
Yeah, mostly they're tour managers.
Okay.
Usually people, it depends on the people. Some people are the shit, and they're just like, they'll talk to you. Like, I worked with America last month, like the band America,
wow.
and I picked them up at the hotel, and literally, like, one of the main guys in America was just like, Gary, what's your favorite type of films? And we just started, like, they were just people.
Yeah.
They talked to me like a person. And we just had this crazy conversation about crazy filmmakers and what they liked. And they have so much time on the road because they don't even do sound checks anymore.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like, so they start, like,
Yeah.
you meet really, like, people who are, like, really famous, and then they're really cool. And then you're like, oh yeah, people are just people. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
But then, like, I worked with Sebastian Bach, and he's a fucking asshole. And he's
Yeah.
just rude and, like, literally, like, was acting like everyone should be sucking his dick at all times. Granted, my job is to be nice to him.
Yeah, right?
It's a part of it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I didn't have to work with him that much. He kind of just went to the hotel, didn't do sound check, came and played, and then left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you do interact with the bands, but they're just people, right? And
Sure.
shit trickles downhill, man. Tour manager's yelling at you is because somebody's yelling at him, and somebody at the agency is yelling at them. Do you know what I mean? And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's just, you know, a lot of times I'm just like, listen, this is my situation. This is my job here.
Yep.
I do this. What can we do about it? What
Yeah,
can we do to help?
sure,
You know what I mean?
sure.
And some people don't care. They don't want to hear it. Yeah. So you do get to work with them, and when they're nice, you're just like, sweet, you're a
Yeah.
normal human being.
Yeah.
This is great. This is gonna be a great day.
Yeah.
As long as the, like, some crews with the shit, you know, they're funny, like, develop some sort of, like, small friendship for the
Yeah.
time being, or they're working
Yeah.
all day. Talk about, like, oh, what, like, you guys should check out these music stores and this restaurant. And
Yeah.
so that part's great, but also they can just be fucking assholes. And then if that's the case, it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I can definitely separate the music and artist where, like, are they good at what they do? And are they an asshole? And do you support them in their personal life? I don't know if that necessarily should matter. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
But, yeah.
So what is your favorite kind of films?
I do love documentaries and stuff. Films. I like. Man, there's so many wonderful films though,
Right.
too, right? I think when I really started loving film was seeing, like, early Kubrick and Scorsese. You know, Scorsese with and like the first time I saw Pulp Fiction too,
Oh,
when
yeah.
Tarantino started getting
Yeah.
popular, and Robert Rodriguez. I like as far as film is concerned, music I'm a little more open, but I feel like with film, I like documentaries about real shit,
Mhm.
but also I kind of like fucked up or
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
And, like, the more fucked up or gory or weird or mind bending, like, I
Sure.
like shit like that for
Yeah.
films. But then I also kind of like the you know, Scorsese's a very, like, you know, like, mobster type movies, but I think they're, like, literally perfect, like, types of movies for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
He's not so much weird as much as just like a good filmmaker, but
Cool.
yeah, like a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
but more fucked up. Makes it a little more
Right on.
entertaining for whatever reason.
You mentioned you work with the tour manager and setting up all the sound and stuff. Like, how closely do you work with, like, the sound, like the lighting guy and like each particular piece?
So that how that works is when the tour package comes through, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might have one or two openers that's on tour with them for however many days, or there could have been local people plugged by the booker
Okay.
to try to increase show value. Get
Gotcha.
more locals there, right? So bookers don't give a fuck. They don't care. And that's why bookers should work for the venue instead of like 20 venues. They just need to fill slots. And
Yeah.
They just like tell everyone like this band's great there. They tell the venue it's gonna be great. They tell the band it's gonna be great. And then they get like 10% off the top, and their job's done. So
Yeah.
they don't fucking care.
Yeah.
As long as they're booked, they get paid. That's all they care about. But
Just
Jesus, what was the original question?
like how closely do you work with
Oh
the
yeah.
lighting and
Lighting
the
guys. So you go through the package, and then so say the opener has no engineers, which they probably don't because they're broke and they're getting paid $200.
Yeah.
Typically, how it would look like is that we do sound and lights for the opener, maybe the first 2 openers,
Yeah.
and then Tor will take over.
Okay.
That typically happens at a show a lot more than you would think. Then they usually even bring their own desks. Sometimes all 3 bands will have their own engineers.
Interesting.
Sometimes the headliner engineer will just do the openers.
Okay. Yeah.
They probably pay him. The tour probably pays him a little more. Also, you have that guarantee-ish. At least you have someone you know can mixing someone, right?
Yeah.
Because if you go to a venue in Maine, that guy could be fucking garbage.
Yeah.
audio
Oh yeah.
engineer, right?
Sure.
Also, though, some people don't care and kind of like it if the opening band fucking sucks and they are sound bad and they want to go out there and be louder
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? Like
Interesting.
even certain tours will tell you like I don't want you to be too loud when you're mixing the opening bands because I'll push up the volume for the opener so it has a bigger effect.
Yeah.
A lot of shit like that.
Interesting.
But you are going. It's the tour's show,
Yeah.
but it's our house.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
So they make a lot of calls, but at the same time, if they want to push back doors, they have to go through me, right?
Okay.
But if they want to play, if they want to do something a certain way, that's their show.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
But if they wanted to play a little over, that's cool. But if they wanted to play under, they have to go through me because they signed a contract, so they have to play a certain amount of time. We need to make a certain amount of money at the bar.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to make sure a lot of shit happens.
Interesting.
And a lot of shit gets fulfilled. And then I've also had a band be like, the booker fucked up and booked this band from Saukville called Roseview.
Yeah.
Pretty talented young kids for an emo band, even though that's like a dying genre.
Yeah.
Seems to be coming back a little bit, but we had an album release party for them.
Yep.
They're a brand new band.
Yep.
Or like a year or 2 old. The booker made an agreement for an hour and a half. They only have 1 album that's an hour long.
Do you know
what I mean? So something got lost.
Yeah.
And then they got off stage, and like I remember the owner was just like, I thought they were playing for an hour and a half. I'm like, this is their album release party. They just played their full album.
Interesting.
Like so.
So like what
They don't.
happens?
They just early, you know.
Interesting.
And that's not like they didn't have any even more material.
Yeah,
to play, you know what I
yeah.
mean? So.
Huh.
Yeah.
Do you have any like long-term goals or anything like that?
I mean, one of my dreams would be to just have my own venue if I could have the money.
Yep. Sure.
I've seen almost every aspect of running a venue, right? From hospitality to production
Yeah.
to being a bartender. I'm also a bartender on the side,
Oh, okay.
which is great. It's helped keep me working in many cities
Yeah.
in between gigs.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
But yeah. In the future, yeah, I'd like to own my own venue if I could ever afford it, but you need a lot of money. It's a losing game.
Yeah.
You're usually losing money on a show, and then you make a fucking killing on a couple.
Really?
You know, so
So like weighs out almost like.
I mean, yeah, you gotta think about it. Like, at a 1,000-person venue, like we typically pay our people playing like anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000, right?
Interesting.
So, if the tickets are $20,
Yeah.
and you sell 1,000 tickets, $20,000.
Yeah. Right.
And then you have your whole staff. You have your very
Yeah.
expensive building. You have
Yeah.
lights. You have bartenders to pay. You'll make a few grand off the bar. that'll take care of for a lot of staff shit, but also then you'll get America come through and their tickets are like $150.
Yeah.
And they sell out in 2 days.
Yeah.
That's $120,000.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
But they probably cost like 30. So
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a tough industry. I've also been talking to a lot of guys in town about starting their own production company.
Very cool.
Some people have some gear. We have the talent. We just don't have the money for the gear. That's like such a big thing. So,
Yeah.
long term, I hope to just be in the industry, and hopefully it'd be nice to have a small little venue, man.
Yeah.
Sell coffee during the day to keep the doors
Yeah,
open,
yeah.
and have like a listening room at night.
Cool.
If I could ever get there.
Yeah. What would you say is the single biggest suggestion you would give someone who might want to get into this type of work?
Keep grinding. It's connections. It's who you know.
Yep.
Be good at it. Be confident. It's humbling to be prepared to eat shit for not a lot of pay.
Yeah.
It's a lot about who you know, and it's a lot about timing too. You could be fresh out of college and somebody just quit tour, and they'll be like, "Dude, you know how to run the SC48?" And you're like, not really, but I know audio. I'll give it a try, or you'll just lie.
Yeah.
So and you're out there swimming, and if you can hold it together, maybe they'll recommend you for another gig or bring you. So keep grinding. If you want to be in the industry, it's not glorious, and you're not. And if you want to be a rock star, like just get out of here. You know what I mean? You're on the opposite end, and you're not important.
Yeah.
Like you are, but if you're a stagehand, know what you are. You're paid to push fucking cases. Man.
Yeah. Right.
Don't start talking to the bands. Don't start talking back. So get in early, work really hard. You got to be okay with long days and not a whole lot of pay, but it's a pretty fucking cool job.
Nice.
So keep grinding, meet a lot of people, don't burn too many bridges, because that guy might call you in a few years and need help, and if
Sure. Yeah.
they're not going to recommend you.
Definitely.
I've been in town for 2 years and I know almost every audio engineer here.
Really? Oh wow.
It's a small field.
Yeah.
So.
What would you say is the number one mistake people make when trying to get into this? You kind of touched on that a little bit already.
They want to be
burning
a rock
bridge. Yeah.
They want to be a rock star. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not what it's about.
Yeah. Sure. You're there to do your job.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
That's probably the biggest thing. You know what I mean? Yes, it all stems from a passion of music, right?
Mhm.
But, like, you gotta love the art. Like, when I used to go to concerts when I was a little kid, I would look at the sound guy like, what is that fucking wizard doing over there?
Yeah.
Like, I'd be so enamored. Like, what the fuck is he even doing? Right?
Yeah, sure.
Like, you don't even realize there's a guy mixing sound for the crowd and a guy mixing sound for the band.
Yeah.
And they each have individual mixes and hear completely different things so they can perform. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
Right? So I just at a young age I started looking at those guys like superheroes because I didn't know what the fuck they were.
Stop recording. Oh well. Is there anything else that you would like to add that we didn't get to discuss?
Not so much. I think, like I said, it's like you got to think about why you're doing this, right? And if you're just trying to be a rock star and meet rock stars, you're in the wrong field. Maybe not. I'm not talking about people who want to be music writers and stuff like that, but as far as production workers, audio guys, lighting guys, try to think about what you're selling, exactly what it is. You know what I mean? And is it worth it to work? And it's a cool job to tell people you work at a venue, but can you really work 16-hour days for zero glory? And you gotta love it.
Yeah, sure.
You gotta love it.
Sure.
So, just stick with it, be cool people, try to get really, I feel like I didn't get fully amazing at one, like mixing,
Mhm.
front of house or monitors or all that. But I wasn't always good with people. So
Yeah.
maybe this new hospitality manager, production assistant, will open up broader roles in the industry.
Sure.
And you might just stick with it, and you might, you might go to school for audio, and then a lighting guy shows you some shit. You're like, oh, I like that.
Yeah. Right.
And then you
Sure.
can try to just, every time there's a chance, bother a lighting guy. Try to
Interesting.
pick their brain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So like right now you're in as the production assistant and you work as the production manager when he's out on tour. Is there ever an opportunity that maybe you get bumped up to full-time production manager, or would he have to like completely leave?
There's actually some shit going on right now.
Oh, okay.
So that's also, yeah, it would probably be offered to me if he left. But production manager, it's a different breed. I'm still on the fence if it's something I want to do long term.
Sure.
There's a lot to make sure it gets done, and it's very not glorious, like I said.
Yeah.
And you can catch shit from your venue, and catch shit from tour.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta be cool-headed, but it's just, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I've just, like, over the years, from just being in audio and starting off as an audio guy,
Yeah.
I have turned into being well-versed in audio and lights. I can't program lights, I can play the faders.
Yep.
And then just general tech AV skills you learn. So there's several little things you can do, like lighting or audio,
Yeah.
or production management and stuff like that. If you're good with people and you're organized, you can do that and make really good money. And a lot of front of house guys or somebody on tour is working as well as the tour manager. So they're front of house audio and tour manager. They get a bigger paycheck for that week.
Gotcha. For doing both.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yep. Sure.
Also, don't be afraid to ask for like a lot of money. Okay.
That's a good tip.
Once you get really good,
Yeah.
you gotta eat shit and not make any money, and then it's really alluring if a band wants to bring you on tour, right?
Yeah.
But once you get to the professional level, like, if you're mixing really famous bands, you probably shouldn't be going on tour for anything less than like $2,500 a week.
Yeah. Right. Sure.
Plus, you're a contractor, you gotta pay taxes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah.
it's as a like a 1099 kind
Exactly.
of. Is that? Are you on payroll for the?
Now I have.
Okay. Yeah.
I started off as just a contractor though, so that's another
Interesting.
thing. Get good at doing your fucking
Yeah.
taxes. Keep your receipts. Everything you ate that day.
Yeah.
Gloves you have to buy. Clothes.
Sure.
So that's been an eye-opening experience as well, being
yeah.
a contractor, and especially the first few years when I did not plan to pay back like $5,000 at the end of the year. So
Interesting. Well, cool. Well, Gary, I appreciate your time.
No worries.
What was your overall impressions of the interview here?
It was good.
Good time.
yeah, it was good. It was good to interesting to just talk about my experience in this industry. Hopefully, there's some nuggets of help you guys can
Yeah,
take from it.
definitely.
So,
Very cool. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, man.
No
Right
worries.
on.
cool.
Catch you guys later.